Good afternoon. Happy Aloha Friday. It's Devin. Hi. Welcome to Manoa Valley Theater Live, episode number 51. Yeah. We're happy to have you here with us. Thank you so much for joining. And okay, so let's get started. We have got Janine Myers, our production manager. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful afternoon. I can't complain.
Considering the weather, the weather's been really schizo. Like the
I know.
last week.
I haven't been able to hike nearly as much as I normally have been. I'm a little sad about that.
I don't hike at all, but that's just because I don't want to hike. So any excuse I can have. Oh, it looks like it's gonna rain. Better not to go.
If you don't enjoy hiking, you'd probably enjoy sitting in theaters and watching live shows.
This is true, and the Manoa Valley Theater is helping you with that. Actually, this weekend we continue Popcorn Falls, right?
Yeah, we have one more weekend of Popcorn Falls. You can catch it tonight through Sunday afternoon. We have two shows on Saturday, 3 and 7:30. So you can grab an earlier show on Saturday if that suits your schedule a little better. Or you can catch all of the remaining performances online streaming from the comfort of your own home. If you're not quite ready to venture out into public yet, or you have immunocompromised people in your household, you want to share the experience with them. And remember, the price is per device per household. So you can have your whole family watch for the price of one ticket. So
the other thing,
it's a great deal.
Sorry, the other thing for people to know is that it isn't like we stuck a camera in one place and that's all you're watching. I mean, we've got camera people.
Yes, we actually have it's a 3-shoot camera shot, and we have operators who have been practicing from when we started our tech rehearsals. So it's a very nicely produced experience. It's not just like Zoom theater, or it's not like we've got a wide shot and it's static the whole time.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be exciting, and those two guys are just magnificent, man.
Oh, they're amazing. But I'm getting behind the scroll from Andrew.
Sorry.
Yes, we've got coming up. We have Tiny Beautiful Things. We cast the show this past weekend. We had a great turnout at audition. I think everybody really wants to get back in the theater. We open Tiny Beautiful Things on May 6th. So mark your calendars. Come buy tickets. Shortly thereafter, we will be presenting the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee in collaboration with Kaimuki High School Performing Arts Center. So that fun show will be at Kaimuki High School. So a larger auditorium, more chances to come see it while still maintaining some social distance. It's a fun show. We have auditions for those coming up April 17th and 18th. So keep an eye out for details on that. Shortly after Spelling Bee opens, we have Daddy Longlegs. So we're actually going to be presenting 2 shows at the same time for a couple weeks this summer. Yeah, I think it might be one of the first times MVT has done this. But we're just, we're trying to get as much out there as we can to present different kinds of works. And Daddy Longlegs is a great 2-man musical. It's got an amazing role for a leading lady. Some real star power involved there. So, ladies, if you're watching, check it out and mark your calendars for auditions on Saturday, April 24th.
All right, very cool. Thank you, Janine. We also have a class. Boy, I thought we were leading this thing, but apparently it's Andrew who's in the back. He's like, no, we're talking about this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we have Lisa leading some makeup classes on Monday nights throughout April. It should be a lot of fun. Those are being held on Zoom, so you can stay at home and get your face all covered in all kinds of makeup, and then you can choose to go out in the world or not, or just have a fun photo shoot.
So and don't let anybody ever tell you that the tech people aren't in charge of everything. Because if you're an actor, the actors, we lead nothing. Because if you make the tech people mad, you standing on stage in the dark and nobody sees you. So
I have a blackout button on my light board.
So just make sure you're really, really nice to the tech people. They're awesome.
Thanks, Devin.
All right. Thank you, Jeannie. Appreciate it. We're going to see you at the end of the show, right?
Yeah, I'll
All
be
right.
here.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, our guests this afternoon make up 2/3 of the management team at Honolulu Theater for Youth. We actually talked to the other third last week. Artistic director Eric Johnson has been with HTY for the past 14 seasons, leading them into more original work that reflects the diversity of Hawaii. Prior to his move to Hawaii, Eric has toured nationally and internationally throughout Spain, France, Belgium, and Switzerland. Managing director Becky Dunning has worked in nonprofit management in Hawaii for over 30 years and has been with HTY since 2011. She's participated in all aspects of theatrical production, including stage management, assistant director, actor, and technician. Viewers, please welcome Eric Johnson and Becky Dunning. Hey!
Aloha.
Hey, everybody.
Nice to see the two of you. Hope you're having a nice Aloha Friday.
Definitely.
All right. So, yeah. So, everybody who lives here has had some experience with Honolulu Theater for Youth. It's a wonderful thing. What was your first introduction to theater, Eric?
Oh, my first introduction. Well, I remember I had kind of a strange youth in that we had no television growing up. And I remember when I was about 5 years old, actually, my mother took me to a community theater production of A Mall and the Night Visitors. And I had never seen theater or anything like that before. And my mind was blown away. And I convinced her somehow to take me back to every single performance of it. It was running the whole weekend. And so we went and saw every single performance of it. And I remember one day she said, "Oh, well, the girl who played Amal was so good." I said, "That was a girl?" And then everything, I was like, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Right. Yeah.
A girl playing a boy and theater and it just blew my mind, and I haven't been the same since.
Nice. And Becky, what about you? What was the thing that first sparked your interest in theater?
I think I was about the same age, 4 or 5, and my family was still living in California. And my parents took me into San Francisco to see Peter and the Wolf with Peter Ustinov doing the narration. And I was there was a lot of music, and it was just so magic, and it took me away, and I've never come back.
By the way, just want to add, Bart McGeehan says we love you.
Oh,
so
hey, Bart.
Thanks, Bart.
Aloha.
Awesome. Okay.
So nice
could we give people a little bit of background on Honolulu Theater for Youth? I mean, again, everybody's kind of known it, but just in case we have some people tuning in who are like, Honolulu Theater for Youth, that sounds interesting. What's that?
Well, I'll start out, and then Eric, you can fill in. Honolulu Theater for Youth was founded in 1955, so we are actually in our 66th season. We're the only professional theater in the state of Hawaii. All of our actors, technicians are full-time paid employees, salaries and benefits. And under normal circumstances, we serve about 100,000 kids a year statewide. And Eric has taken the company in many new creative directions. I'll let him explain some of those, but we specialize in original work that's created specifically for Hawaii's kids.
It's awesome. Eric?
Yeah, well, I think Becky did a great job, and I think that's one of the beautiful things is, everybody from Replinger, back in the day to Bette Midler got her first acting job, here at HTY. So, I think there, a lot of people have passed through, but always the core has been this ensemble of actors and directors, designers, writers, educators who are on staff and kind of make up the company. And I think, the majority of those people come from Hawaii. They are from Hawaii, and they build work for young people here. And so I think that's really what has kept the spirit of the organization moving over all these years. And in this crazy COVID time, we've been lucky enough to be able to move into doing some television and digital work, as you guys clearly are. So we created a television show called The Highway. It's on all the Hawaii News Now channels, and we're over 3.5 million views so far. So just to think about like what that sort of leap in audience has been from 100,000 we thought was a great number, and it is still a great number to get into a live venue. But the digital gives us a way to reach many, many more kids. And I think one of the things that we're finding, just as a community here, is that having local stories available to kids and to schools and to be a part of our conversation is so important. And when thinking about just what can be done to capture that medium moving forward is going to be, I think, the next sort of stage of HTY, even as we go back to live theater.
Now, in a normal season, sorry, if we can remember what it was like a year ago.
Yeah.
In a normal season, how many shows does HTY do in a season?
Usually 6 to 8.
Okay.
We do shows for preschool kids. We do lower elementary, upper elementary, and we have other special programs that we do. We work with the City and County Department of Environmental Services, and we do a recycling show that goes out to schools. We work with the Sex Abuse Treatment Center and take theater into the classrooms of middle and high schools to talk about respect and sexual violence prevention. So we're trying to have something for every age group in every season.
And then because do you sort of chart out how the whole season's going to go and then do the casting? Is that how that works? Do you cast for the whole year, or do you cast for individual shows?
No, we and that's what's a little bit different about having a company, right? Is we actually have a company, and about half of our work is devised now. So the work is kind of built out of the company. So we'll work with community partners around themes or topics, but we'll use the artists that are within the company to sort of build and generate and devise what types of stories we want to tell at any particular moment.
Wow. And some amazing stuff has actually come out of that, which I people may not realize. People like Alvin Chan, Junior and stuff. I mean, you have people in the company who are creating these amazing works, and it's all homegrown.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I think it's a model. It's interesting. The whole theater field is going through, as is the whole country, of a moment of sort of reevaluating what the model of especially diversifying voices and stories can be. And I think that's where actually TYA has been really at the forefront in some ways, because the only difference that I see between a theater that does work for young audiences and a theater that does work for adult audiences is we're just being really specific about who that audience is. We're saying, you 8-year-old, let's meet you and make a piece of work that is meaningful to your life right now. And I think in the same way that we might say, you people who live in Hawaii, let's make a piece that is meaningful to your life. Or, how do we include, right now we're about to open a digital show called Stories of Oceania, which sort of celebrates a bunch of different contributions and stories from all across the Oceania region, through the lens of Hawaii, and then we're thinking about, we're working on other kinds of projects that celebrate and amplify, Asian voices, Native Hawaiian voices, the voices and I think community that is here, and that's really special. And I think hopefully is something that other theaters nationwide begin to take notice of and think about as they think about diversifying and localizing some of their content and programming.
That's awesome. Full disclosure, I mean, I was fortunate enough, lucky enough to be cast a long time ago in a couple of HTY shows. And I remember the creative process was very different because you got the play and then you rehearsed the plays. But it was one of the first experiences I'd ever had where it was back to back, where you were rehearsing something and then you were rehearsing something out. Rehearsing something else, getting ready to put it up on its feet. And sometimes, the one show was for preschoolers, one show was for high schoolers. Do you have to take that into consideration when you're starting to program how everything's going to go?
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, it's a very versatile ensemble. And I think that is a way that we keep ourselves fresh as we, and having the ensemble, sometimes the way it works right now is we, we'll have a team that might be performing one thing, rehearsing another thing, thinking about a project that might be a year or two in the future. And there may be, like right now, conversations are happening between our education branch and our artistic branch of like, how do we sort of create content that could be used in the residencies that they're doing in schools. And so, yeah, I think that sort of multi-layered approach is very, very typical for us. And I think we're looking for artists who aren't just one thing. There are a lot of hyphens, like actor / director / playwright / designer / curious
videographer, filmmaker.
And I want to pivot to make sure we get to that part, because during COVID, obviously you weren't able to have shows where the kids come see the shows, because HTY would get St. Andrew's Priory as a place, right? You'd have Tenny Theater every so often.
Theater at St. Andrew's Cathedral.
Right, St. Andrew's. You'd also, I remember doing a couple shows, or seeing a couple shows actually, at Ala Moana Beach Park, in McCoy Pavilion. I mean, that's how long ago I've seen shows there.
Yeah.
But, and then you'd go into the schools as well. But of course, with COVID, you can't do any of that. So HTY did this hard pivot and started doing video work. I mean, how does that happen? Do you just sit there and go, okay, how do we do this? Was that what essentially happened?
We were at a board meeting in early March of last year, and we were talking about how we were going to keep the company running, keep providing service to the schools and the students. And fortunately, one of our board members is a general manager at a local TV station, Y News Now. And she said, well, if you guys can figure out how to produce it, we'll air it for you. And Eric took that challenge. And fortunately, because everyone on staff is so multifaceted and multi-talented, we were able to jump in. But we've learned so much in the past year, and everyone has picked up, dozens of new skills. And then there have been other people in the community that have come and helped us. Nella Media Group, Gerard Elmore helped train us a little bit.
A lot.
So that
a lot.
Definitely a community effort to get the first several shows on. And if you look at, the first show as compared to what they're shooting now, it's exponentially different and better. It was an amazing process to watch.
And how much time do you have between shows? Because, this seems like quite an undertaking.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I think, and maybe I'll just say, kind of, think where the impulse comes from at this moment is like, how can we as a group of artists be useful to our community? And, is the central question. And then once you answer that, switching media is challenging. And we are doing, like turnaround, for our shows has been as tight as 2 weeks. Like,
Wow.
So nothing at all on the page, start writing ideas. 3 days later, you're starting to film, a half-hour television show, and then edit it and send it to the TV, station to put up, which is much faster than
doing a show.
People.
They're doing a theater show. It's like, wait a second. Wait, what are we doing here? We got 2 weeks. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that for us, when we started making these, they were about COVID and about the moment that we were in with families and young people. And I think that always is thinking about, like, how do we serve our community? How do we create art that really is of value to young people and their families and teachers? And teachers were struggling with, like, I need content. You saw that happening, right? All these mainland, content, that was just sort of packages, arriving in Hawaii and had nothing to do with Hawaii. And so, thinking about how to do that became essential to us. And our educators.
You feel that, filling that niche that needed to be, or that place that needed to be hit. Yeah, it's amazing. Can you do me a favor, and can we name off the company members, just so that people, I mean, not like they're going to see them on the street and go, hey, but just in case, when they're watching the show, they can go, I know these people.
Well, we've got 22, so maybe.
Oh my gosh! Okay, well, maybe not all of them, but I didn't realize. It's funny. I didn't realize the company was that big. When I was doing HTY, the company was like 4 people, and 2 of them were
right. And so I'm going to say, go to our website, and it's a lot of people I mean, they're Moses and Alvin and people you've mentioned, but I don't want to exclude, because I think that is something that I just want to lift up, is that, like, our admin and our educators and Becky, and everybody has made this pivot, and and has been a part of this, and there we do have beautiful, sort of frontward facing people, but the people in the shadows have been just as involved. And if you do go to our website, it's very easy to kind of get around and see everybody. And I think that's so important to say that it is a whole community.
Wow, 22. I apologize. I didn't know how many people were in the company now. That kind of blows my mind a little bit. I'm
and that's everybody. You're right. It's not just the actors, because we're thinking
tech
and people are doing
costumes and
departments. Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing, is that now, with regards to the company, it's not just the actors on the stage, but it's the people who have to design the costumes and make the costumes. If you got 2 weeks, you have to put together an entire ensemble for a show in you probably have less than a week to actually do that, right? To get everything together, which, and you don't have anything on the page. I can't. I'm sorry, my mind is like, boosh. So Eric, for you, when you first decided to take this gig, how do you feel like it's like you've had to adjust your expectations of what you were going to do from then till now? Because I remember when you first came on, I really do.
Yeah.
And people were so excited to have you on, because they said, you're so innovative and you have so many great ideas, and it looks like a lot of those have come to fruition.
No, thank you. Well, I think I can talk to it. My dream has always been to work with an ensemble of artists, and to be in a to be in an arts organization that found voice for those artists, and but also really served that specific community. And so, not being from this community, I feel like I'm every day, even though I've been here a while now, a long time now, I do feel like I try to enter every day with complete humility of knowing that I do not understand or take for granted the vastness of experiences that our young people have. And so we're still thinking about, how do we diversify the company? How do we find new stories that are out there? How are the stories and the lives, shifting for young people, just in the last decade? What's different? What's the same? What are the great stories from Hawaii that we can tell and arm our kids for the future? But I think, in this last year has again just been such a lesson for us that, like, if you think you have things figured out, then think again. But we've got to live by it, because we call ourselves creative artists, and so how do we creatively stretch up to meet the challenge? And I think that has been what is just so beautiful about the ensemble again, and it's a group of people that have shifted. People have come and gone and pursued other things and come in, but I think everybody has left a beautiful mark on the company, and it's just an honor every day to get to come in and work alongside people and with you and people who were here long before me that sort of made their mark.
I know, I feel so old. Thank you.
And,
so
are continuing it, right? Like that's
right,
what we want to do.
It makes us all very proud to be alumna of HTY. Becky, for you as the managing director, what do you see for the future of HTY? Where do you see things going? Do you see like maintaining maybe a component of this digital thing plus the live part of it?
That's what we're hoping to do. There's nothing that will ever replace 300 squirmy second graders in a theater and getting that energy from them. That's you can't replace
you can't beat it. No, you can't.
No,
you can't.
But
that energy is not replicable.
No, but the digital work has allowed us to reach so many more people and to serve the neighbor islands better, because we would tour 2 shows a year to the neighbor islands, but that was it. So this way, there's some kind of a hybrid that we haven't quite figured out yet, where we'll go back to the live performance, but also continue to do some of the digital work. And one of the things that has been so fulfilling for me was just that we could continue to make families and kids laugh. And throughout this whole difficult year, we could bring some joy, answer some questions, and make them feel good for a little while.
That's awesome. Okay, real quickly, because believe it or not, we're out of time. Becky, real quick, if people want to support HTY, how best to do that?
We go to our website, htyweb.org. Thank you, Andrew. And we have shifted to a monthly membership program rather than a subscription. So it's $10 a month for an individual to join, and you just put in your credit card. It's really easy. Family membership is $25 a month, and it gives you access to all of our virtual content.
Cool.
So we will have 4 shows, 4 regular HTY productions available starting April 1st. We've got 3 now. And all of the highway episodes, all 17 of those that have been created, and we'll have some new ones coming soon.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Awesome. Okay. Now, Eric, from your side, if I am an actor, a young actor going, that HTY thing sounds kind of cool. How would you go about getting involved with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. if you're an actor, or if you're a person who likes to work behind the scenes, if you like
That's
making
right.
costumes.
That's right.
Sorry, I don't want to leave any members out.
I think, or an educator, or even an administrator, because I think we need to think about our field as being like, so there's so many ways in, right, and so many important jobs to do. So I think the easiest thing is to either reach out to Becky or myself. That we're not, because it is so in flux, we're not having formal auditions right now, but I will meet with anybody, take a Zoom, talk to people. It's really important that we have less turnover, because we really try to, we're trying to put health insurance and a little pension money and, like just trying to get people to live as artists. And so to give a multi-year support to the same people is really important, but we're always looking for fresh talent and new talent, and especially people who are dedicated to doing work for young audiences or interested in that. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much, Eric, Becky, for spending this time with us. Really appreciate it. Good luck to H2Y. I'm so happy and excited that you're here with us today. Thank you. So very proud to be proud to be part of the HTY family, Ohana. And speaking of part of the HTY Ohana, we got Janine coming back.
Also part.
Yeah, I too got my legs in theater in Hawaii, working in the scene shop at H2Y. So we were chatting a little bit about that beforehand, doing shows down at McCoy Pavilion before we got Tenny Theater as our sort of in residence there.
Yeah. So we all remember it. We all think of it very fondly. I remember the first time I went to rehearsal and they said, "Okay, break," and I went, Break. What are we breaking for? And they're like, "No, by contract, you get a 15-minute break." I went, "We do?" And they said, "Yeah." And Kyle Kakuno goes, "Yeah, we get lunch too." I went, "What? We get lunch?" It was the most fabulous thing. It was the most fabulous thing, because I've done community theater my whole life. Yep. So I just went, "What's this break stuff? I don't understand." So it was a whole nother world for me. So and then to like you were saying, to reach out to the kids, to have them enjoy the shows, to be out there among them, and to know that they learned something, got something out of it, or like you were saying, Becky, they just laugh and just had a good time. Nothing like it. Yeah. Okay.
I really like what Eric had to say, that creating art that is of value to the community is something that H2I really strives for. And Becky, sometimes what that value is laughter. And I think that is a really nice takeaway. And I think that's what a lot of us are striving to create is just something that feels a little friendly, a little fun, a little familiar in this really weird time that we're still navigating our way through.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our time. Thank you so much for joining us on this 51st edition of Manoa Valley Theater. I got to thank Eric Johnson, Becky Dunning joining us here from Honolulu Theater for Youth. Please go watch the show on KCNL. Check them out online. And also, don't forget, Popcorn Falls tonight and this whole weekend. It's the last weekend at Manoa Valley Theater. Yeah, so come check them out. Live theater's back, baby. Let's do it. All right. On behalf of Andrew and Kristen and Janine, thank you so much for. Oh, and sorry, Kip. Thank you so much for joining us, Eric, Becky. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys soon. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you.